Hello, this is Digital Imaging Online, and I'm Lisa Gabrielle, and I am going to review with you the eCampus basics. Um, you have already been into the classroom, I'm sure, because the class has started now for a week, and I wanted to give everybody a chance to sort of get into the classroom, ask any questions, review the information, and see how it kind of felt after a week. I haven't heard too much, so I'm assuming that there's not too many questions, but I just wanted to overview a few things with you before we move through the next 14 weeks of study. Um, One thing I want to point out is here on the home page, I have an announcement for on-campus lab hours, and those lab hours are open to all students, and I do not take attendance during those lab hours, but they're open for you, and I mainly set them up for my online students. So in the event that you're stuck with something or you need a more face-to-face or a hands-on approach to the course, you can visit me in the lab hours and I can answer your questions. I can go over whatever materials you're stuck on and hopefully get you back on track. You can find me in the lab on Thursday nights, every Thursday, between the hours of 3:30 to 5:30. And the hours for our open labs are listed here in the G building and in the T building. Okay, so take note to those open labs. I also wanted to point out the syllabus and the sort of rollout of how the course information will be available. A lot of people assume that the course is right there, all available to them on day one. However, I'm still creating portions of this course. So, especially with the videos, I'm redoing all my videos. So, the typical schedule for the remainder of this course will be on Tuesdays. You will find all of the new content for the week. So that will be, and I may or may not have your assignments out there early. Sometimes I might have the assignments out there, but the videos will not be finished until Tuesday. So you won't find any videos explaining the weekly materials until Tuesday. So tomorrow I'm planning to have all these videos out there for you to take a look at. Also on Thursday, I expect you to take a look at those videos and be up to speed on what I cover in the videos each Thursday. So Tuesdays you download the videos or at least go to YouTube, and Thursdays you're up on that content, and then you're prepared for the weekend where Sunday will always be our project turn-in day of the week. So you don't have to log into eCampus any other time other than those times to either one, watch the videos on Tuesday, or two, upload your assignments on Sunday. Okay, just so that's understood. Also, you can get all that information in the course calendar. The course calendar, I've spent great amounts of time to sort of organize it because we really have three components to this class. There's the video lectures, which I take time to prepare for you, and those will be available on Tuesdays. You have the projects, which are your creative executions of all of the technology that you learn in the class. So you have a book, and in that book, you will be following through a series of lessons. Those lessons will be covering all the technology I expect you to know and understand. And then I expect you to take that knowledge and apply it to your projects. So that's kind of how the class works, where you'll be watching videos. Sometimes I'll be going over how I want you to set up your projects or what to be aware of on your projects. Um, there may be some technical information in those lectures as well. You'll be doing lessons in your book that cover specifics about what are the different things you need to learn, like for instance, layers, selections, masking, all of those things are covered in depth in your textbook. And then the projects are there for you to actually take the skills that you've learned in either the lecture or in the technology book assignments and apply them to a creative project. So just so you know, that's how the class is broken down. Um, Let's see, what are the things that I want to talk about here? You can also contact me in two ways in eCampus. You can either email me direct, and I please ask that if you need to talk to me about a personal reason, that you email me. Any other time that you'd like to get a hold of me, the best place to get a hold of me is in the discussion area under Ask Your Professor. And we've had one person ask a question there. A lot of times, students all have similar questions, and when you post them in here, I can answer back in an open forum where all the students can read the answers, and it saves me time and it saves everybody else time. In addition to the Ask Your Professor, which are specific questions that are not pertaining to any one specific week or a particular lesson, if you look back at the discussion, I also have weekly problem and solution areas. So, for instance, last week nobody asked any questions. So, week one, problems and solutions area, it didn't close down, but nothing was discussed there. Now we're working in the next week, and you could see I also have a week two problems and solution area, and it apparently there is somebody who's posted something in there, and a person has asked a question, and actually he emailed me and I emailed him back, but I will probably post in here as well to answer his question. So the week two or the week three or the week four problem and solution area is where I would like for most of you to post your comments, questions, and problems pertaining to that particular week. Okay? So that's pretty important. The coursework itself is located under the assignments and lectures area, which is the coursework button. You click it, and then you get an assignments and lectures, and then in there will be each week and all of the different materials pertaining to that particular week. Um, each week, more than likely, most weeks will involve a technology lesson in your book and some kind of either a report that you have to write based on some brainstorming or some critical thinking project that you had to go through, like coming up with ideas or something like that, or it will require you to post an actual example of the progress of your work. And generally, when I have you post an example, we have a class critique and everybody comments on your work and you get feedback. So, mostly each week you're going to be involved with at least two assignments and then watching a lecture. So that's basically what the rundown of weekly workload is in this class. I try to tell students that commonly the breakdown in terms of how many hours do you expect to spend in this class. If you're planning on getting an A in the class, then expect to spend at least 10 hours of homework time per week. If you're planning on getting a B in the class, then you should be spending at least 8 hours in the class on homework, and so on and so forth. A C in the class will be 6 hours of homework. And typically that formula has held true. So you could kind of gauge where it is you'd like to see yourself in terms of a grade in the class and dedicate that amount of time to the course and sort of try and fit it into your schedule because I realize everybody's busy. Okay, so that was a brief overview of eCampus, and hopefully that answered a few questions in terms of how to get started inside the online classroom.